Hey, welcome to FamCon. I'm Crystal,
I'm Julian. What's
and
up?
we're doing family conversations. So, we're going to get into family dynamics with our extended family, which is a hot topic, I feel like, lately, especially with everybody that I've been around recently is having family problems.
Oh yeah.
So, my thing is,
You know,
why can't we get our extended family more involved into our immediate families? Yes,
yeah,
I
I can
hear
hear. We
you.
can hear you.
Okay. Well, based on that topic, every family member has their own perspective in life. But why? Why is it gonna be misleading to like why is one family member has to be different than the other? Like we both came from the same mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And you
I'm trying to
both
figure
have.
that out.
Well, the funny thing is, this is what I come to when I'm thinking is siblings, and you're obviously your mother, and if you have a father or vice versa, you guys lived together for 18 years. 18,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even longer than that, especially net recently with the way the world is. You know, people are living with their families longer, which means they're living with their siblings longer. But why is it once you get a spouse and you start a family, things change? It's like family ain't nothing. It's just my family. It's just my husband, my
Yeah,
kids.
the immediate family.
Yeah, like why? That's what I want to know. Like why does it change?
Yeah, I'd like to know the same thing because I feel like we all need to come together. I mean, you want your kids to know who their niece and who their uncle and aunt is. You
Hmm.
want them to be close and grow a relationship with them, but it's not always the case. You
My
know.
thing is though, why is there usually half the time it's a communication barrier, I realize,
Mm.
of
Communication.
how you
Yeah.
talk. Because even like if I think about it and just listening to everyone, I'm not even going to exclude like my side of the family or your side of the family, just like friends and stuff that we've been talking to about, Julian, is it's communication. Like we just get mad and we say things, and then it doesn't get better because we're mad and we're saying things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta set that pride aside. You know, you even if you have siblings and grandkids and nieces and nephews, you should, like you said, Julian, you should be doing it for your
Your
the
children.
little ones, for the
Yeah.
childrens, because they should be able to see. Unless you excluded in the family from the other siblings, that's harsh. I
But
feel like that's vindictive in a way. That's like
yeah,
saying that
but
you don't like the family aspect.
yeah, but it's also like you can get to an altercation with your brother, sister, or whatever, whichever side, and then that one thing just tarnishes the whole relationship. And they're like, "Oh no, they did this like 5, 10 years ago, so now I don't want to go see them." And then that hurts. That puts a dent in the child's life.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can't go see my uncle or aunt because you and your brother, your sister had bad relationship. Y'all don't talk, so we get the short end of the stick. The kids get the short end of the stick.
Correct. So so that's where it's like if we could come to an understanding without no animosity between each other, there should be a way where we should communicate to the point where, hey, listen, we just want to come together. We want to make sure that the kids know each other,
Yeah,
family
but
are good together, and we just make it work. Because
yeah,
if you can't make it work, then you're looking at complications later down the road. In my understanding.
Or
yeah,
non-existent.
they
There's families
they
that I
can,
know that haven't talked to their siblings or aunts or whoever their extended family is for years, and it's just like it is what it is. I see it as
hmm
if you're on your deathbed and you have regrets that, oh, I should have talked more, then you need to change it. And I think it's an individual change, not just, oh, it's
yeah,
their fault. There has to be like, I just actually just read this quote. It says, "We repent enough to be forgiven, but do we surrender enough to be changed?" I think we try to
Mm.
repent, but we don't change. We're not sitting there surrendering to change, and a lot of
yeah,
us
exactly.
don't want to change. Because like I'll even do it. Even like now for me, and I'm gonna Julian sees it. I'm one that I will reach out. Like it's just like with a friend. I think we talked about this. Is
Yeah,
if I'm inviting you, and you just keep saying no, I'm done. I'm done. We're done. I'm gonna do the same thing with family because we want it reciprocated. I want you to want to talk to me. I don't want to see you every day. We don't have to do it every day. We all have lives,
yeah,
but
exactly.
reciprocate it. Like I feel like like even you, Jeffrey, like recently, like you've been in like a big family, you know, like when I first met Julian,
Hmm.
I didn't really see you.
No, Jeffrey was doing his own thing, man.
Yeah,
Always doing his own thing.
you're right.
You were chasing
We-
that money. You were like, oh, I'm busy. I gotta work. I'm working.
But at the same time, I realized that there was other things I wanted in my life that I wanted to conquer, and it was like, hey, why am I excluding myself from the family, where my family could benefit me better to understand how to do this or do that in my life and be able to build on each other, just like how our mothers wants us to live prosperous and wants us to do better in life, and they want us to come together as a group, just like in
Well,
communications with other family members or groups
that's
or
how it
like
was back
church
in the day.
functions.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
like
big. It was big back in the day. Like you knew who your cousins were. You were around them, almost every week.
hmm
they
Well,
were they
family
were like
also
that.
lived closer together. I feel like now families
Yeah.
want to move away from each other, and that does make it difficult. You're obviously not going to see them as often. But my thing is, if you are living close, when do you want to take advantage of that? Like, if you're only like an hour
Yeah.
away, when do you want to take advantage of like here instead of just seeing each other on holidays once a year, basically some people,
Hmm.
let's do a once a month thing. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to a picnic. Let's go, whatever. Our plan of, like you said, Jeffrey, a vacation all together.
or a family reunion.
Or yeah,
Like
family. I feel like not many people do that anymore.
Yeah. No.
it's very slow pickings of people, family members, especially bigger families. There's very less of that.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own life, but
Hmm.
you know, it's all about communication, in my understanding.
It is, and I think we get in our way because even when we do get in an argument with whoever, your sibling, your parent, I realize a lot of
Hmm.
people can't come back from it, and
No.
that's one thing I learned from my mom is even when me and my mom would have our disagreements and our arguments, I kid you not, Julian's seen it. The next day, we are either one, hey, we need to talk about this, let's process it, and we're even stronger the next time. I mean, I've done it even with my brother. I mean, I try to always reach out, even if it's a phone call. Hey, how are you guys doing? Let me see, you know, like
Hmm.
I say this personally just so they could get a reference because I want them in my life. I don't want to be where I'm sitting here going, well, I wish I talked to my brother more, or well, I wish I could see my mom more. And I think
Yeah.
individual, because sometimes I sit here and go, why is it not changing? And I'm one that wants to speak, so I'll be like, hey, let's have a meeting. Let's discuss the
Hmm.
problem. And Julie will see
But
it.
some
I'll be like, let's
some
talk.
family
Let's see
members
each
like
other. But it don't
yeah, but some
work.
family members you do that. You reach out, but they're just like so short and want to quickly get off the phone.
Yeah,
You will say, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Oh, I'm busy right now. Can I call you back or whatever? They're
yeah.
quick to get off the phone. I noticed that.
So
I haven't heard
since
from you
Do,
for a while.
okay, my next question for you both is: do you think it's jealousy, either from parent or siblings, that kind of make the whole extended family get together a problem?
it shouldn't be.
Well,
If
jealousy
it
from what
is,
though?
if it is, it depends on the family member. Like, okay, I would be off. I would be off. I'm gonna be still in the same topic, but off to like, okay, what family member has better than the other family member? Okay, maybe I might
That
have,
that we're judging
maybe
and
I might be very wealthy, and the other family member is struggling hard as it can be.
hmm
What is it that you're not? What is it that you're doing that makes it hard for you to be wealthier versus the other person? Like, why can't we come together and be wealthy together? I
it's
think it's an ego situation.
Yeah,
Like,
my
maybe it's not jealousy. Maybe it's envy, like you said, an ego envy.
yeah,
Envy is the word, actually.
yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. Like, okay, well, do you feel like I'm smarter than you, or do you feel like, you know, you do things better than me, or what
Yeah.
is it? Like,
Yeah,
I can't say that. Hey, I know. I'm older, of course. I might know a little bit more. I might be wiser,
hmm
but you should take that into consideration. You should be
Yeah.
like, You know what? He's right." You shouldn't be like, "I
Most
don't
of
have
the
to
time they
listen to
don't. They
you."
look at it as like disrespect and they don't like that. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. Let me help you out. They look at you like,
Then, to be
oh, so you're
honest with
saying you're
you,
saying you're better than me?
well,
well,
and I
then
also
the
think to come in. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I feel like
No.
also secretives, like especially if it is your brother or your sister, your mom or your dad. Why are you being secretive? You know, like
Hmm.
we want to me at least I know. Like for me, if it was my brothers, I want to cheer you on. I want to be there.
Yeah,
Hey, do you
yeah.
need help? I'll be there and I'll help you.
You're raised around your brothers and sisters. You know their tendencies and how they act. So that's why you're like, maybe that's why they are secretive. You know, I know how they act with this type of situation. I don't want to tell them this. I don't want to include them in this because I know how they act. They're gonna run this way and do this. You know.
Yeah.
But see, I think it is the person that is envy or jealous or whatever the case would be. I think they have an issue that they need to work on. And what who can let me try to put it in words where it's like who or what could bring that to light without have that person feel some type of way to make it easier to communicate with that person to make them be more informed of what's going on in life, especially with the family.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's the way you say it. It's the way you talk to them and
Yeah.
the
We
way you
come
say
off.
stuff. Not to be like angry and stuff, but gonna be kind of constructive with your words to them. And if they still don't get it, they just still see it as whatever. It's just my way. Yada yada. I want to listen to you. Then
Hmm.
you know where you stand with that person. Whether
But
it be
it should be, I realize that most siblings has one sibling that's closer than the other.
Hmm.
yeah.
Like I have friends and actually people I know that has like a brother that's closer to the other brother or a sister that's closer to the other brother, but the other brother's not closer to the other sister or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a word barrier where it's like or a communication barrier, sorry. A communication barrier where okay, why is this family member not liking this family? Why are we bickering? Why are we fighting? Okay, well, you know what? Let so and so John Doe of the other family member sibling talk to them and see if we can work things out. Like we're adults here. Come on, like be adults. Like the shit
Yep.
shouldn't be
But
so negative. It should be like, okay, if you have an issue, put it to light. But you gotta also see what's going on in their life. Like, look at their life. Are they happy? You should be happy for them.
Yeah.
Are they in trouble or something like that? And you can help them out. If you can't help them, they should understand that. Come on, we listen. Read the damn Bible. Shit. Cause damn, y'all aggravated for the
you
wrong
got
people.
whether it's family or not, you got to be careful, man, because you say help them out, but
That's what I said. Yeah, I
they'll
was like,
they'll
if you
just
can't
freaking
help them out, then
lean on you constantly. You do
because
one
there's
favor or
this.
something like that, and they're just they could do that. Okay, help. Hey, I need this done. I need that done, and they're constantly hitting you up. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's nice seeing you and whatever, but you're just kind of using me at this point.
Well, that's why I said it has to be reciprocated. Like
Yeah.
it can't be one way. Like I said, like it can't be so and so. You're always inviting to everything and doing things, and you're the main reason. But then they're coming back and they're not doing as much. That's where I think, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, the whole point I think of this is communication. I mean, I'm going to bring in a little bit of a mental health point of view. When I did family counseling, even if it was a cultural barrier, I mean, I counseled someone who was the father was Chinese and the mom was a white blonded female. There was difficulties in that relationship because the communication barrier wasn't getting clear, and I think that's where it goes.
Thank God for Google Translate. That's so bad, but it's true. But I understand that's like the barriers.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the barriers in a cultural way. Like my thing is I
Hmm.
sit here and look at the American way. Kind of, we're not close as a family. It's like you're 18, get out of my house, or you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, if you're
Yeah.
doing this, oh, you're just trying to throw that in my face. I think we as individuals personalize a lot of things. And then if you just came back and talked,
Yeah.
you saw, you would be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. And then even if you get to that point and things are still not clear, then maybe, yeah, there needs to be a break between whoever you're having a problem with. But in the end goal, this is what I'm trying to figure out is, why aren't we doing once a month things? If people are in the vicinity, obviously I'm going to put this out here. If there was trauma, and I mean trauma as in like verbal, physical abuse happening or absentees and stuff like that,
Mental.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mean trauma like, oh, so this person in my family just said something I didn't like. That was trauma. No, I mean like drugs, all that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's completely out. That's a dysfunction in the family that is hard to overcome, I will say. But if it's just like
Yeah.
normal, I will say I have normal problems in my side of the family that are basically like kind of what we touched on: envy, regrets, tiptoeing. We tiptoe around people's personalities, or we give them an
Yeah.
excuse to, and it's mostly just behavior and their habits,
Hmm.
and that's
I
what
got one thing. I hate to interrupt. I got one thing that I think most family members has issue being with the other family member is their religion. And I don't like to use the word religion, maybe their relationship with their type of whatever they call as God. You know,
okay.
some families have different ways of respecting God or whatever God they respect. I think that's another factor that could be a problem. Like, okay, like they might be Buddhism or a Buddha or whatever the case it's called, or or they
Buddhism.
might be they might be
Buddhism.
what's it called? God, Lord, but words ain't coming out my mouth. Um, Palestinian or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all different. We all have our own God. You know, I only serve one God, and that should be easier for the other family member to understand. Maybe they religion with their family member or
Are
their
you are
significant
you
other.
you're trying to say like, okay, if they're like a Christian or whatever else, and then they see someone do something, they're like, oh, that's not that's not
That's
how
not
a
what we
Christian should
what we
act.
believe in.
I
Yeah,
don't want to mess with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. So I'm gonna keep you at a distance. They're
like
quick.
like
They're quick to judge just
correct.
based off their religion
Eh,
and what they believe.
judges is such a strong word.
It
I
is.
think it's just like their belief is different, and they don't want to
Yeah.
cross the belief what they believe with their God versus our God. Like somebody could be Muslim in a family, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and they believe in
But they're like, oh yeah, Muslims do this, Muslims do that, and they're
like they
quick to
don't
judge.
eat pork or they don't do this.
Yeah. So
Well,
they're
my
like,
Okay,
thing is,
oh,
I
well,
think religion, though, if they are a whole different religion, whatever it is, that's going to be tricky anyway, because, like I said, I guess it's almost to the point where they are bringing themselves out of the circle. Because if you are
mm,
Hindu or Buddhist or Rastafarian or whatever, and you're not following their practices,
Rastafari.
you're well. It's just like,
mhm.
if you're not following their practices, you're not going to really get involved in that family member's life. And that's, I will say, I guess this is also going to come in. And as sad as it's said, like to say it, I guess you just have to let that family member go. Like, say hello, be cordial. But if their religion is more important than that, we can't, also us, we can't judge them for making that their priority. You get what I'm saying?
That's what I
Oh,
said.
just pause real
Judging is a
quick.
strong word. You
Right back.
shouldn't be judging.
Well,
Like you should be like, hey, if you don't like pork, we'll take pork out of the equation.
well,
I
no,
want
you
to
could be
make you comfortable.
accommodating, but
Yes,
I will say though, you can't also let people push their point of views of their worldly followings onto you if you don't believe them, which is funny because I just read that, like, how, like, obviously I'm a Christian, you're a Christian, we're all Christians, obviously, on this podcast. um in the New Testament, you love thy neighbor, right? And the neighbor can be
correct.
anyone and everyone, and it needs our love. And my thing is, that's where I'm making ours more a family. Like, we need to love our family, and spend meaningful
Hmm.
time with it. And I think that's what we need to do.
But yeah, like I said, a lot of envy, a lot of anger, whatever transpire in your physical, mental abuse or neglect or dishonesty or whatever like that is probably the issue to be as a conclusion.
Well, yeah, but that's why I said as a mental health counselor, if you were physically or there's drugs or alcohol or anything like that, that's something I can't. That's like major counseling that has to be done on an individual thing between that person. But
Mm-hmm.
like I'm talking about normal like disagreements. You get what I'm saying? Normal like
Mm-hmm.
point of views that make the family like instead of being close, they're apart. You know, just different perspectives. If we all came together and was able to not only talk about it, but then go
Mm-hmm.
home, reflect on it, and then change, then things would go, you know, like let go, embrace, reflect, and then I think change would happen.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
back. Where we at? Where
because
I was
we,
just
we
saying,
we
like,
gotta figure.
how like you can't I'm not including in the dysfunction of families of why they're not getting together as often. um I'm not including like drugs, alcohol, physical abuse, stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
That
no.
I can't, that's like I said, that's something major and I can't help, that's
Hmm.
something I can't say that to fix. But if it's normal problems, like normal disagreements, normal like what you
Hmm.
said, Jeffrey, envy or some type of ego, I think you have to come together. You have to be able to talk to each other and stop letting people's
Yeah,
personalities. And my thing is, this
they
is
just
another thing I learned. If I can't talk to you and be truthful, how are we ever going to overcome? You're like my, if you're my brother or you're my sister, how can I not talk to you? I should be able to
like
tell
set
you.
your set
yeah,
your
yeah,
pride aside a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can't always be like, okay, like I realize that, okay, you want to be the alpha in the situation, and then you want people to follow you. Yeah, but at the same time, you also can't be that person and be envy about everybody else and not steer the the pack in a more truthful, more happier way. Because then you're gonna lose the pack. I know it
hmm
might sound like I'm National Geographic over here, but it's just like the wolf pack. Like, okay, you have what's below the alpha?
Um,
Um, Jesus Christ,
beta.
the beta, and then
Mhm.
you have your cut your all your other flocks. You gotta lead in a way where everybody can follow and understand. I think the best thing is to understand each other's role in life.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
no,
But do you
but
saying?
think
the
that would
family
help
first
getting family
expectation.
together though?
The what?
I can't guarantee
I
it
said, do you
would.
think that would get families together? This
that's
is
a
my thing, and this is
that's
what
a
I hope. I guess, like, you know how people say you need to have one word for the new year? My new word is family. I do. I want more family. And I mean, we do get a lot of family time, you know, we try to involve everybody, but I would like
Hmm.
more. But also, I want, I guess I'm going to say family under the umbrella of family is I don't want to tiptoe around your personality, just like I don't want you to tiptoe around my personality. And
Yeah,
like you guys said, we're adults, mature.
yeah. We can't come together and then it just be fake.
Yeah.
They're being fake. They're
Well,
just putting on a mask,
who
fit
wants
the
to be
room.
around that? Like, who wants to go
Yeah,
to a
and you know
gathering
they're
and you're
being
like,
fake.
can't be myself, you know?
Yeah, and you did. You're annoyed. Everyone's annoyed.
I mean, there's an issue. I just plain point blank. There's an issue.
Well, that's why I
Hmm.
said we can't tiptoe. And I know some people, and we've, you know, me and Julian and Jeffrey talked about this, about our own circumstances, is we got to stop tiptoeing. It's the way you say it and how you say it. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully it gets across. Now, I will say, like, I'm
hopefully,
going to take from the bishop that me and Julian talked to. After you have that conversation and nothing's changing, I
and
guess
nothing.
that
Yeah,
is the point where you do just cut ties and it is what it is,
yeah.
you know?
So it's kind of like, okay, we did what we can do. We made
Hmm.
we made adjustments that we want to accommodate you. The
Yeah.
accommodation didn't work. Then the next step is, social media is the worst thing in the world, but it puts a lot of things in light in a positive or in a negative way. So it looks like, okay, you know what? We're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy it. And if you want to come around, then so be it. But like Julian said, being fake, I
Don't.
sometimes you just gotta
Yeah.
bite it in the ass and just take it as
Don't
it
come
is.
around. You say you gotta come. Don't come around, and then you're just being an ass. You're being distant, and everyone notice.
Oh, okay.
You're the
Yeah.
you're the elephant in the room. You're saying, yeah, fine, I'll show up, but you have an attitude. If you're gonna do
Correct.
that, then don't even come at all.
Well, and we talked about also, I think we are in a selfish, it's about me. I need to help myself, you know. I don't
Hmm.
think that's what it's about because we need people. That's why, like, we strive or want
Everyone needs, yeah.
to have a meaningful interaction, either that's over a meal, a conversation. I mean, picking up
Hmm.
the phone and talking for a good 30 minutes to one of your family members changes. Because, like, I'll even say,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I want to be like, if someone passed, God forbid someone passed, I want to be like, you know what? I liked our relationship. We did everything we need. Like, I'll give an example of mine is Aunt Laura. It was reciprocated. I mean, she was 80. I mean, there was an age gap, but we reciprocated all the time. She would just text me and be like,
Yeah.
hey, Crystal, how are you doing? Are you doing good? Is Julian doing good? And I would even tell Julian, yeah, we're doing good. Just that simple text here and there, like, how are
That.
you
Yeah.
doing? What are you? I think we need to incorporate that in our daily, like,
Yeah.
way we think. Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be every day. We all have lives. But, like, I
Hmm.
will say, even with just using you as an example, Jeffrey, we've changed the dynamics within the last 2 years. I've seen you more. We're hanging out more. We're talking more. You
Hmm.
know.
See, and like I said earlier, I made that adjustment about myself because, like, it's funny because like the bond that me and my brother had wasn't as what a regular brother should have, in my understanding. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
there's
sympathizing like how TV shows are,
yeah,
or like, oh, we
but
like the brothers, or that one movie when the brothers are playing the drums and they fighting each other. It's not like that, but realistically, like,
yeah, but there's an age gap too.
yeah,
You
true,
know.
but the knowledge that you have, the knowledge that my brother has, you have, and my other
Hmm.
brother, it's different. But at the same time, we should understand each other. I'm getting older, and I'm the oldest. Like, I want to
Yeah.
reflect on understanding, and I'm gonna be wiser if I understand what my little brother can do when it comes to production or technology
Yeah.
or whatever like that.
And I feel the same way because like with my little brother, um, I want to show him what I wasn't taught at his age or whatever.
Like,
I'm
shoot, I
showing
don't
him
even know
stuff.
how to. I don't even know how to. I know how to do an alternator, but a starter,
And all
man, shoot, you can kick.
like
I'm
even
afraid I
something
might
like
pop
that.
something with a starter.
Trying to sound, hey, don't get scammed by these mechanics out here and stuff. It's simple. It's so easy. Here,
It
I'll
is.
tell you
It,
how to do
and
it. But
it's
then I noticed, you notice stuff like, oh, he's not really interested in that. He's not really trying to really learn it. He doesn't care for it. He'd rather probably just spend his money on someone that'll do it for him.
Well, that's true too. You got to
Because
meet them where they're
I'm trying to
at.
show him how to.
yep.
Huh?
I said you kind of have to meet them where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
even but still be able to show them. Like, I will say, you guys have created memories, but also I think us, like me, I like having like the get together that we recently just had. That is a
Yeah. See.
core memory in my mind now. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
it's
was gonna
just
bring
so
that
good.
up. Like I don't know about y'all, but I got like a good, when we were all talking, sitting around the table, it was like a good feeling to me. Like it was all natural.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Like
funny thing is, how we were younger, and like you don't want to do this in front of your mother. You don't want to do this in front of your mother. But it felt so comfortable to
yeah,
be like, just happened. Like, you motherfucker in front
yeah,
of your mother, and she's like, oh my god, you
yeah,
do
yeah.
that? That's funny.
Well, we're
Or
adults
it's
now.
like, I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a shot with you. What?
Yeah, yeah. And we're adults
Like,
now, and we can, go back and say, "Hey, mom, remember when? So back in the day, well, I wasn't really there. I was doing this. I was."
you slacker, you lying. You
yeah.
should have shot with me when I was drunk.
Even though it's still
Hmm.
funny because your mom's like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I
But
guess
see,
But
also I'm reflecting too as a mom of three, and I've told Julian this. Obviously, I want them to have their own life, but I
yeah.
do want to see them. I don't want them where it's
Hmm.
only once a month. Just like I know my mom doesn't want to see me once a month. And
Nope,
hmm
and it's
nope.
vice versa.
I'm
I
t-
don't want that. I want to see my
I'm
kids.
telling you. No, I'm telling you right now. I don't care. I don't care if they move to freaking Washington State. I'll show up and bust down their door, and I'm gonna treat their
show
house
up and
like
show
they
out.
treated my
That's
house.
how we
I'm
do.
I'm jumping on couches. I'm spilling water, juice everywhere. I'm putting fingerprints on windows, everything. Spitting
You
out
that
food.
father.
Oh yeah,
Oh
you
shit!
can't run from me.
I'll be eating crumbs and on the
Oh,
couch and cause of the crumbs. I'm like,
yeah.
oops, did I do
I'm
that?
opening the
Nah,
door and leaving it open. Yeah,
they'll be. Oh, they'd be hot. They'd be like, he ain't came home
I
over
don't
no
I
more.
don't give a damn. I
But
don't
my
give a
thing is
damn.
though, I want to be there for my kids. Like even if
Yeah.
like yeah, you're doing that and it's fun and they're gonna get angry, it is what it is. But I will say, no matter how mad they get, or no matter how like, oh, I'm busy. You know, if you live close to me, I'm coming knocking on the door. You know, like because you
Yeah.
don't know when your life is gonna end. You don't know when you know. I Julian knows I talk to my mom every day, sometimes two,
Yeah.
three times a day on the phone.
Oh yeah.
But you
Oh
know the
yeah.
funny thing is, I don't want to bring it where it's like, oh, like whites or blacks are different. We're all equal in a way. But if you realize, if you spend more quality times with your family, like your older family and your mother or your father, they live a little longer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they live a
Hmm.
little
Yeah.
bit longer.
I
And
believe that.
it's hurt. It hurts me to say that because like if we spent more time with my grandmother and we took her places and done more stuff, I
Yeah.
think she would have lived a little bit longer than she was instead of me stuck in a house. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
It,
know it's hard to get somebody that's incapable to move just the way we are,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
that little effort makes a difference.
Yeah. And it
Listen.
pains me. It pains me when mom told me, when she was awake in the hospital, she woke up or whatever, and no one was in the room besides mom.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Yeah,
she was surprised. Grandma was surprised that like no one would show up. But at the time, I think Crystal was working, and I had Luna, and she was still an infant. And I wanted to go with the infant, and everyone was telling me, no, no, you can't bring an infant into the
yeah,
ICU.
in the ICU, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't go. But I did go. I did go after I went to go see her, but she was all hooked up on the machine, and she wasn't awake. And I just sat over her and held her hand and prayed, and I was talking to her. So I hope she heard me while she was in the bed.
Oh,
But my thing is though,
definitely.
did you guys sit there and think though? This is where I'm kind of bringing it in back to what we're talking about. That's why change has to be made to see each other. Because when that time came, were you like, maybe I should have hung out with her, or I should have brought her with me somewhere, or done
Well,
more
Oh,
things?
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Well, I do feel good because I did spend a lot of time with her. Even when we did me and mom, she would always contact me, and I always say yes, of course. I
I
love my
live with that woman.
love talking to her, and we would go to her doctor that I always had to help out because she had to go in a wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
and she would always be talking, talking with me and everything, and ask me how I'm doing and all that. You know,
It was interesting living with our grandmother because
yeah.
she was still motherly to
Hmm.
me, and I'm like, I'm okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you need to do this, and I feel bad as like
Yeah.
woman, like
It's
relax. I'm an adult now. I got it, but she made me she
she'll still.
showed me things that I did not know, especially like cooking and
Oh yeah.
taking care of myself, making my bed. I remember to this day, like there was a way she taught me how to make my bed, and she told me, and she had me practice and practice and practice,
Hmm.
and to this day I don't make my bed, but
Damn, you
I
don't
do
listen, huh?
remember how to do it. I do remember how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
build it, how to crease the not the fitted sheet, but the regular sheet. So
Hmm.
it's the knowledge that was
Well, it's the
back
knowledge,
then.
but also I think it does help having all generations and ages in there. Because
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've had Aunt
Correct.
Laura come and stay over with us and play games, or even just like having your mom and my being a bridesmaid, and my mom was a blessing. Like I was like, this is good, you
Yeah,
know.
It was needed.
Well,
It
it
was
was
well
needed,
needed.
and it felt good. Like even if there was an age gap, obviously there was an age gap in all my
yeah.
bridesmaids, but it felt good. It was fun, and I'm one to include family until the family doesn't want to be included. Like that's how I am. I'm going to
Hmm.
include you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do as much as I can until there's signs that I'm just like, all right, we're done. But I think from this conversation of our extended family right now is I think goals need to be set. I think conversations need to be had. And like for
Yeah.
us, like I wish like once a month. I think once a month is reasonable, you know. Hey, we're gonna do it on
Hmm.
the second Sunday, see if you have this clear. We're gonna go do something as a family. Let's go have
Yeah.
fun, you know.
Or
Hmm.
your mother did it. What is it? Every
Every Sunday we had family dinner.
Sunday. Yeah, as every Sunday, or was it?
That's a regular black folk family gathering. when we got some ham hocks and some cornbread
Ham hocks,
and some collard
some
greens and
corned
we we
beans,
we threw it down.
baked
Well, we
That's
did
potatoes,
not
though. Like I will
happening
say,
anymore.
there was
ham.
some weekends where obviously, like if someone couldn't make it, then my mom and like my siblings, you would be like, okay, we'll just do it the following Sunday. But we did. We took turns. Even Julian saw. We take
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
on meals, but every Sunday we would come together. Either we would play a card game together at the end.
Hmm.
It was just good time. Like that's all it was. And I'm sorry, but our lives cannot be like, especially when we're in an age of distraction. I believe
Yeah.
it can't
No
be
one's
like
that
that.
busy. I'm sorry. No one's that busy. Everybody's on their phone. Everyone has their phone in front of them. They see the messages. They just choose not to answer right
Yeah, I
away.
was just about to say. My thing is, though, I will say this: if you're talking and you want change with someone in your family, and if someone's watching this and you do have difficulties in your family, I will say, one, try to see it from their perspective. And this is just my counselor hat coming on. I don't counsel my
Hmm.
family. I am going to say this. I can't counsel my family because I have personal emotions with my family, you know. And as a counselor, I don't have personal emotions with any of my clients. I don't know you. You're telling me what I'm,
Yeah,
you know,
you're
I'm
not
taking you
supposed to.
at
Yeah.
face. But I will say,
Yep.
I try to take my own advice. If I have a problem or I want to reach out, I will. I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Hey, do you want to hang out? You know, and I
Hmm.
try to get it out there. So those are my advice for like people who want to spend more time with their extended family. Try to communicate. It's a barrier thing. But like I know
Yeah.
for us, I would like once a month family time, like not just holidays, not just like
Yeah. Once a
Christmas and
month is good.
Thanksgiving. I don't like that. Or a wedding. You only see your family the first time at a wedding.
Yeah.
That's where it gets awkward.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
then
it
you're
gets so
being
awkward
fake.
or you don't get enough time. Like I felt like at our wedding, I didn't get enough time to meet this
No.
huge family, you know, on either side. So
Hmm.
that's what I'll say. But we're gonna go into the next subject.
Marriage. Don't do it.
Wait, that's not that.
Nah.
What?
I have never ever been married. I see beautiful sights of other people being married, and it gives me great joy to see that they are comfortable with their significant other.
Yeah.
My understanding is rushing it. Everybody's different. Everybody has a
Mhm.
different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna rush it, what's the rush,
Yeah,
or
that's
how
a
long
question.
the
What is
rush?
the rush?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Why are these people? Because I have I seen countless friends on my social media where they'll get into a relationship with someone, and then like a month or two later, they're like, "We're getting married," and
Like,
I'm like,
what are you doing it
"What?"
for? For alimony? Like, what the? I don't get
I have
it.
no idea. And
I
then
don't know. For a
how it
wedding,
always ends where they split, never
Mm-hmm.
worked out. But
So it
even
seems
being young, that scared me. Like looking at relationships where what they says like 40% of marriages end in divorce.
I think
I
it's
see
more
all
than
these
that.
people. I don't know what the percentage is. Don't quote me, but I just see a lot. That scared me as a younger person. I said, "Oh, I'm not getting married. I don't want to get married when just gonna split." You know.
but
But
I've seen people like they high school sweethearts, college
yes, I
sweethearts.
have a friend like that. Yeah.
They've been together. They've been friends, and they've been together for like 15 plus years, and then boom, they finish college. They get married. So
Mm-hmm.
they took the process of understanding each other, and I think that
Hmm.
was my main goal in this lifetime, in this relationship, is taking things extremely slow to understand each other's weaknesses, strength, what triggers them, what is
Value,
that
core
will piss
values.
them
Yeah.
off, what would make them happy, and understanding that will probably put it in perspective of what to do for the next 4 or 5 months, 6 months, eight
Mm-hmm.
months, years.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't rush it. Took us what?
No,
Took you almost what 9 years to propose, and then we got married
Damn.
nine and a half,
almost 9 years.
eight
What?
8 years, right?
why
Yeah, I think
why does it
we're
Oh,
seem like
eight
you was
years. 8 years.
counting?
8 years to propose, and then we got married on our because we've been together 10 years come May.
May. Yeah,
We've
It
only
seems like
been
you was
married for 2 months.
it's like you got one of those counters when you put on
almost.
social media, the countdown. Like, this man's been fucking with me for 8 years, and not put a
That's what
damn
females
ring
do.
on my finger. Like, damn,
I
Beyonce.
will say though,
Okay.
I felt
A
like I
lot of
was a
females
pushy.
do
Was
that.
I pushy, Julian, with marriage? It wasn't until
Not,
recently.
yeah, not really. Or super pushy, but a couple years, like 2 or 3 years before, prior to now, you were,
I was.
saying, yeah.
But in the
Just
beginning,
say,
I
Joe.
didn't
Don't.
want
She ain't gonna
marriage.
kill you.
But I will say, like, I think people rush it. Like, there's some people where I don't understand. Like, oh, no, I do understand. If you are biblical, I understand marriage.
So
I
wait,
was just gonna
so
say that if you have
yeah,
a if you have a religious belief that you gotta wait for marriage, I respect anybody that wait for to make an encounter with that person. Listen, we're all
Hmm.
adults here. We're all adults. If you're gonna wait till when it's sexy time
Yeah.
and you want to get married, and then I respect you for that. I
yeah.
totally respect you for that.
Woo,
Some people do that
hats off to you. Yeah.
to be more, like you said, biblical, more spiritual with God and understanding this is the right thing. But hey, listen, there's also understanding that person too.
Hmm.
And my thing
It
is
shouldn't
though,
be
like,
all about sex.
well, it can't be that. And you change. Like, even with, like, I'll say, me and Julian, we didn't have a long time of dating before we found out we were gonna have a daughter.
Hmm.
So life kind of hit us with a big responsibility, and if you are blessed to have that marriage, you get married, have a kid, etc. In the other way, we just did it reversed. But
Yeah.
like the bishop said, yesterday or 20 years ago was the best time to get married, but today
Yeah.
is also the best time to get married in God's eyes.
Mhm.
So if you are thinking biblically, I think God is, it's at your time, and I was not going to rush Julian because it took us a while. So I will
Well,
say,
you know what I
Amen.
told you. I told you I had to, as a man, I want to
Yeah,
be where I need to be at in order to
yeah,
propose to you and be ready for marriage. And I told
mhm,
you I want to get a house. I want to
yeah.
get this done, get these stuff done before I even think about marriage.
yeah,
So I want to add to that. Do you think that, because in my understanding, do you think you should get married and then get a house, or just let's
Well,
be let's make it bigger. Do you think you should get your finances in order before getting married, or should you just be like, you know what, we've been with each other for 5 years and we should get married, but our financial situation is not together?
I think it will come though.
yeah,
Okay, I like how you
you
say
guys gotta
that
come
because
together. Because
some people,
I was gonna say I was gonna add to that too. Before you said that, I was gonna ask y'all, how do y'all feel about a couple has been together for maybe what, say 2 3 years now. There's two sides where people will be like, oh, don't get married yet, you don't know how you guys got to live together before you get married, because some people go, oh, I don't like the way he does this, she does this is not going to work out, because
so
I
so
or there's other
yeah,
people that will say, you guys are not married, why are you living together, why are you guys living together, y'all not married, that's wrong.
I like
So
that.
which
I,
is which? How should you go about that?
This is going to be an
Living together
opinion
to
based.
know, huh?
This will be opinion based because obviously me and you believe in our opinion you need
Hmm.
to live together. I'm sorry, there could be
Yeah.
what is it called like irreconcilable differences when you come to live together, where he's doing something or you're doing something that you never
And you
saw
don't.
behind closed doors. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
will say I think you need to live together for at least two years before thinking
yeah,
about
because it could be chin hair from us men that could be on the kitchen sink when it's
That's
supposed
the
to
red
be
that's the red flag that that
when
that
it's
ends
supposed to
it
be in the
all.
bathroom sink, and you be
You left
like,
one
"The
hair
hell's that?
follicle.
Why does it look like pubic hair?"
Yeah. That's it. We're done.
my thing is though how this is where I come in. How do you get to know each other's families too? We're trying to bring in the other conversation into this is you're only 1 or 2 years, you haven't lived together or nothing. How do you know how, like, what your Christmas is going to be like? What's your
Yeah.
traditions? What's the values? I'm sorry, but me and Julian had to go through a lot and communicate a lot. And I will say one thing: I hate when people are like, "Oh, you're just playing house. That's all you're
Yeah,
doing."
playing
I'm
house.
letting you know
Mhm.
we weren't playing house. We had 3 kids. We had a mortgage. We were working.
Hmm.
Like, we weren't playing no house. If we were playing house, where was our fake money to get us through? Because it wasn't coming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like when people say that. And there's plenty of people who've gotten, like you said, it's 41% chance of ending in divorce on your first marriage. It's even bigger in your second marriage, almost to 60%. And the number one
Yeah.
thing is lack of communication, money problems,
Mm-hmm.
infidelity.
Mm.
Marrying too
Yeah.
young is another huge thing. This is just stuff that I've seen as when I counseled, do marriage counseling, but when I did, um, how are you going to know that? I will say, I think there's growth that has to be
Yeah.
made. And whether you're married or not, growth in that relationship, that's work, blood, sweat, and tears, man.
Oh yeah.
I
So
think
is the
I think
consensus
if
not rushing?
ah that's I don't want to rush. I know for a fact. I think for somebody that rushed and actually succeed should been like, hey, listen, it worked out for us. Some people that has rushed, it didn't work out for them. It's a iffy situation, in my understanding, because maybe they have that bond that they think that it's gonna work out and they succeed 17 plus years. But do I think
Mhm.
rushing it is the key? No.
No.
I
No,
think I
never is.
think preparing for but I hate to say this, but preparing for the worst and preparing for the best should be in every relationship's
For the
head
best, prepare for the
Mm-hmm.
worst.
because you never know what would happen. And I hate to put that in everybody's mind because it's like you never know. We could have a hurricane next week and the whole house is gone.
Mm-hmm.
We could have an engine blew in our car and we don't have a penny to fix it. It,
Hmm.
it, it happens. So preparing for the worst is it should be done. And I think that's one thing I like to talk to just my significant relationship. Like, okay, what can we do to save or what can we do? It's more of like a financial conversation, but I'd rather wait until like maybe 2 3 years. Oh, where does sister go? Oh, okay. I was like, what you got? Like 2 3 years down the road, like, okay, let's talk about what can we do to financially make ourselves better. And it sucks because most of us don't have the great job that we want, or we're not making the great money to survive in
Yeah.
this economy. So I don't want to get off topic, but waiting it should be needed.
Yeah. I think 3 years minimum is mine.
Yep. I was just about to say, if you had to put a number
And
on it,
and
three.
and and I hate because it's always the females that would say, "Oh, we're going on 5 6 years, and he proposed to me. He has until this, and if he doesn't, we're done." So you're just gonna just start over from
I
from
can say that for
from square.
some. I can say that for some. You can't just always say only women's now because there's some men that be like, you know what? If she ain't gonna, she
It's the man's job, though.
yeah, if she ain't gonna clean and cook for what I
My
want to clean and cook, man, she gotta go. Maybe
Well,
she's
like
not
I
a cook.
said,
Maybe
another
is
conversation right here is communication. I mean, half of
yeah.
divorces
You
end in
got to
communication, half of
yeah,
families
got to
end in
come to
communication.
common ground.
I was just about to say it. And that's where it has to come in on all aspects. Like, I'll even tie in what we talked in with the family thing. Julie and me have to come together. If there's a problem with one of our sides of the family or anything, like I said, support your spouse in front of people. But when you get home, you sit down and be like, oh, you're wrong. Or no, you need to do this. Or you get what I'm saying? That's where that
Yeah.
communication, you're a team. Just like you said, if something happens and we don't have the money to fix our car, well, hun, what can we do? What can we put our heads, because you're going to go through trials. You're going to be
Just like
climbing
the
the mountain. You're going to be
one.
tired. So, but I will
Oh
say
yeah.
this one thing that me and Julia, like, I'll say this: marriage did not change anything. The only thing is my name. I will say that. Now,
We're basically already married.
we
you know what
were,
kills me is that after you get married, you got to go to the courthouse. You got to sign this big ass document that's gonna mend your lives together with the state. And
yes,
then
it's not
if
biblical.
shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to pay X amount of money to get it taken care of. You know what? I think every in my opinion, I think every marriage or relationship that's going to a marriage should think about, you know what, do you want to spend 50 to 60 or I don't know how much to get a divorce? That should be the main thing in your head.
It happens all the time.
Like
It
So
that
does
should be
though.
the
I will
first
say
thing.
they
this.
have no problem.
discuss it though, because me and Julian both said, at least I know for me, I'm not getting married again. I don't care if this don't work out. God forbid it does.
Yeah,
Like
I told myself that too. Like it's one marriage and that's it for
that's it.
me.
It's funny
And
because
I'm gonna make it work.
my friend, my good friend, I love him to death. I want him on this podcast because he's been married 3 times.
Hmm. Yeah, well,
He's
You
he
been
know the
gave
married.
divorce
his
rate
He,
goes
side.
up higher the more you're married, the more many times you're married.
so
It's like it's just like drinking water. I don't understand that. I really don't. It's like they're just popping candies. Oh, nah, this one tastes bad. Try another one. Nah, I don't understand it, man. But it happens.
It
It's
does.
common.
I
You
don't know
know?
though, but I will say, like, I'm glad we're married. Almost going to 10 years, but there was growth in it,
Yeah,
a lot of
it was.
growth. But
There was times, you know.
I was
I'm gonna
about to be
swing
like,
that
I'm
woman's neck.
There was
Like,
times
why would you
where I was
want to
like,
swing on that? What she do? Man, she took my tools and put it in the other box, and I ain't put the tools in that box. Oh my god, it's the funniest thing, the littlest things. But I think the littlest things shouldn't be so big. It should be
exactly.
where, like I said, understanding your person will save your marriage as much as you can. Taking the
hmm
time to understand what they like and dislike.
yeah,
I have been so blessed to observe. I think that was my gift, is being observant,
hmm
observing what people
you have to
like,
be.
observing what people do, and then observing the person that I'm with so calmly. It worked out for me. Like, oh, they like this particular candy, or they like this particular flower, or
Hmm.
they only sleep one way on the bed. So, or they're always cold. So, make it enjoyable for your partner, because at the same time, if they're happy, you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
think I
like
should.
stuff like you said, like those little things. Those little things count. Will
Mm-hmm.
make them just light up their day.
It does.
Correct, and I express that because it's like,
You paid attention. Oh, he paid attention. Look at that.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, he
and us men, we want that, but it takes a better man to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for her, and if you see that she's being nurturing to your kids,
didn't.
she's doing this for the whole household. She's making great meals, even though she doesn't like to cook, but she cooks. Those little things should be appreciated. Be appreciated who you have,
Yeah.
because most people don't have it.
Yeah.
One thing, I hate to get off topic, but one thing I'm grateful for is that I could be that particular person that's standing in the corner of the street, but I'm here living life.
Hmm.
I could have been that person standing in this corner of the street. If I
Yeah.
can avoid that, I'm blessed,
Yeah.
regardless.
It's a mindset, man.
It is a
Mm-hmm.
mindset. I
It's
agree
a
with that.
mindset.
I would even say, even, and this is another thing people need to practice is obviously speaking before, think before you speak, because even out in anger, even like I said, I'm bringing this back to
Mhm.
communication because I think this whole subject of the two things that we talked about is communication. If you are going to yell or fight with your spouse, be prepared that those words are going to be used against you or what you say.
Yeah.
And I've even noticed that I've even started to change how I speak when me and Julian get in a fight, because I will say in the beginning, I letting everything come out. I didn't care. I was like, okay, Julian.
Oh shoot. Should Joy probably be like, man, that's a turn on. Tell me dirty, girl.
No.
Get nasty.
Julian was like, no. And then he would say stuff back. And I was like, we're not getting nowhere. Like, and I would sit there and I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I sitting here acting like a child?
Yeah.
Send
Was
me
that
with
the best?
stuff.
Y'all mesh together because y'all know you ain't gonna take, and it works out for y'all.
Well, it does, but
So
I'll
when
say
it
this. You got to have one. You got to know your each other's strengths, because Julian might hate this. And I will say what works in our relationship. Julian, when he's mad, he's mad. Okay.
Yeah.
But when
Oh
I'm
boy.
mad, I sit
When you were
there.
little, oh God.
I knew
he
it.
get was what?
I knew that you
I
were a bad
died.
child.
I
No,
died.
no,
I'm
no,
like, who's this crazy child?
nope.
I,
But I'm just saying,
that's
like, when you're mad, like Julian knows this. even with our fights now, I think they're better when we get in a fight or an argument or disagreement because
You
he'll
get
get mad.
wiser. Yeah,
I'll
you
come
get
back 30 minutes
wiser.
and be like, "Are you ready to talk about it?" And he'll be like, "No, Crystal, I'm not ready." He's annoyed by
Ooh,
Yeah,
it.
but that's most
ooh,
that's most men. That's most men. When we get mad, we want to be left alone. We want to, you
ooh.
know, be
I
left alone.
appreciate you
But
brought
the
that up.
female be like, no, we're gonna talk about this now. I need some time to
To
myself.
process.
Yeah, I need some
Okay,
time
but
to
I don't
myself.
like it when people say forget it, because the longer you process something and the longer time that you're forgetting, not only is it going to go into your heart and you're not going to bring it out and talk about it, nothing will change. So that's why I'll come
Well,
to you. Hey,
It should be
I'll
like,
give you a
but that's
day.
the thing. We get over stuff like that.
No, it ain't. No, you don't. No,
We're
you don't. You
done.
know,
We're
you
like,
men
oh,
don't get over it.
what were we arguing about? What are you're still on that? You're still bringing that up? You're still talking about that?
yes, because
I'm over that.
us men, we just
That was like
like,
30
you know
years
what? It
ago.
was pointless. Like it was
Yeah,
pointless. Like we don't want to stress. We already
dwell
got
on that,
enough
and then
gray hairs.
I'm
want
You
to
not
know,
cross
we
trying to
that.
just
stress.
want.
I want change. That's why Julian knows. I'll come and be like, okay, what do I need to change to make sure that this fight doesn't reciprocate into another thing of deja vu?
So that's the point of communication. You should be like, okay, listen, what did I do wrong? And
Exactly.
he's gonna be like, "What do you mean? You didn't do anything wrong." Like, if I did something wrong in the past, you know, and if you want me to change it, what will you do? And then he's gonna be like, "You know what? You know that shit that you did the other day? Like we forgot about it. We try
But
to
it
forget
came
about, but
back.
then we like, you know what? That shit you did the other day. I understand why. Because we men we process like we want to process alone. We want to process where it's like we figured it out. Like
Yeah.
okay, you know, because we actually have like an A B and maybe a C in our head. Like okay, A, I fucked up. B, nah, I didn't fuck up. C, you know what? If I'd have done this, this would have not have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I we process different.
Oh yeah. Well, men and women aren't equal, and we do different things. It you change the M to an N. You back? Can you hear us?
Yeah, but it's not my phone, it's connection.
I can't hear you. You gotta hit your mic. I think that was the
Oh.
same thing. That's what I was saying. I think I'm logged into the I think
Do
I'm
you hear
logged
me?
into the main account.
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hear
Yeah,
you now.
there you go. But like I said, we've been processed differently, and that's where the communication barrier becomes a problem in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I choose to open up more when I'm in a relationship because I want this person to understand how I feel and how I process. We most men are like closed off all the way around,
Well,
but
yeah.
we choose to do that because hear me out.
You gotta be careful.
We know our anger.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thing that scares us. We might lash out angrily and not realize we what we did and how we hurt the woman because y'all soft centered, not in that way, but y'all just vulnerable in a way, but you're also are sensitive in certain aspects. So
Yeah.
for us men, we don't care. We don't give a and we be like, oh, why would you want to do that? Like some bullshit. Like we just don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
We just need to figure out a way where the relationship could mend a way where you communicate better,
Well,
so it
that
doesn't
and
cause a
then
problem.
yeah, and then it would bring you to marriage and all that. So communication. So to end this, I will say that we need to we're going to bring in a guest to
Correct.
do their point of
Speaker.
view of
Yeah.
family and all that. And also talk about marriage because those two things, family and marriage, makes the dynamic. Because sometimes when you're bringing in a new family member, it changes the dynamics of that extended family and marriage and all that's tied in. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So next time we'll have a guest join.